Hello YouTube, I'm back with the next My Little Pony episode review, and I'm reviewing today the end of Flutter Valley. This is the first 10 episodes of the My Little Pony TV series, and it's 10 parts long. They're only 10 minutes each, but if you're going to watch this series, take it little by little, a couple at a time. What I did is I did a couple after lunch and a couple after dinner, because they were short enough that, you'd be... that eventually, with so much going on, you're going to have a lot to take in, and those 10 minutes are going to be up, especially since I think a good chunk of it is actually just the end credits and the beginning credits. But this is an interesting series of episodes because they actually have two villains working in this. You get the Witches of the Volcano of Gloom, who's in the movie, the first movie, and then you have the bees from Bumbleland that end up kind of collaborating. The witches want Flutter Valley. The bees want life in their land because the land is pretty well frozen over and lifeless. So they actually eventually work out a plan to use the sunstone which the Flutter ponies have to keep their Flutter Valley up and running, kind of the lifeblood of their area, and they end up stealing it from the Flutter ponies, obviously leading to the pretty well the end of, as the title suggests, the end of Flutter Valley. It means it's going to be lifeless, and that gives the witches their own land to reside and kind of build their own empire, whatever you want to call it. And the bees end up getting their sunstone, which ends up, using sunlight to actually, get their life back and up and running. But it has a catch, because all that time, once you get later on into the story, it ends up making things worse. It actually gets so hot, the plants start catching fire, and then they gotta get rid of it, but of course they end up knocking it off, and it's so hot that it actually essentially buries itself in the ground, and then it's difficult getting it out. Of course, they eventually do, and they get it back. But of course, the Flutter ponies, it's not just them coming in and saving the day as they usually did in the movie. They actually get themselves caught in sort of a honeycomb, literally honey that they can't even get out. Although we end up seeing a little bit of the personalities of those antagonists in Bumbleland, like Sting and Pointer. Yes, they may be rather obvious names, but I think they fit with who they are. And we also find that Bumble herself, she doesn't really have a name. She's just called Gerbumbleness throughout the entire segment here. But she ends up getting her just desserts, literally, because I forget who it is. It's Sting, I think, is the one that sort of befriends Morning Glory. I think their name was Morning Glory, because I think they never really made a consistent pattern as to who was who. At least with the Flutter ponies. I think everything else they were okay with. Because you see, it's like you learn that Sting actually has a softer side to him. He wants to be able to fly. He has not been able to do it. Morning Glory helps him out. Ends up having a little change of heart. Ends up getting him out. Of course, the Flutter ponies don't even escape right away. Some do, but it's not easy. I mean, they had to... Ironically, they using the sunstone to kind of melt things through, although that also made it much stickier. They eventually get out. They get the sunstone back. But it's not easy, especially since the witches, obviously, they need help. They end up getting help from their ancestors. Yeah, you don't find that out in the movie. Yeah, Hidea's got ancestors. You find that out probably, first couple parts. That she actually has a family that she's gone through. That's kind of interesting to find that out, because obviously, as I said, the movie doesn't teach you that at all. You'd never know she had a family. You'd figure those are the three that they have. That's it. But yeah, it's definitely a lot to take in. There's 10 parts, as I said, so you may want to do it little by little. Just do a couple a day. Or a couple, every couple hours. You'll get through it pretty quickly, actually. But it means you have, there will definitely be parts where there isn't a lot going on, especially towards the end of the 10 parts, because it's kind of just waiting for the end. And you see the return of Og in this one, the big spider. And this is kind of further proof this follows the movie, because Megan and the others, when they end up encountering it, they reference the movie because they actually tickled it to defeat it the first time, and it doesn't work this time. They actually had a different, I think, end up, oh, I forget what they did. Did they bury underneath? They might have. But you end up seeing a lot of different other creatures too. You got fur bobs, which are like sort of like the bush woolies. They got bigger noses. They don't always. They pretty well never agree on anything. They've always had a rival called the stonebacks, which are kind of armadillo-like. It's hard to really describe. You have to kind of see them for yourself. But there's a lot of different animals in there. These were not in the movie. These are actually straight up right in the show, and only in the show. I think they only appear here in these 10 parts. But, you know, it shows they've got some consistency. They don't know, I mean, they end up helping, see, I forget. They end up helping one of the, that's right, they end up helping one of the ponies out that ends up injuring their leg. I forget which one it is, though. But it just goes to show you there's a lot to take in. I mean, it's probably, if you were to put it into, like, a full-length special, it would probably be over an hour long. That's a long time for something that's not actually a movie. So I'd give it a shot. It's first 10 parts. If you can make it through that, you can make it through all the rest of the series because there are less parts. There's probably no more than 5 or 6 in the rest. Most of them, I think, are usually 2 parts. There's a couple of 4-parters. Nothing than that. Other than that, it's pretty light. There are a couple of single episodes, though you may have to search for them because I know a couple of them are. A couple of them are actually elsewhere. Most of them are on Dailymotion, though. You can find a good chunk of them on Dailymotion. They're going to be in single. They're going to be in, like, I know the end of Flutter Valley is in two videos, but that'll get you started. You know, it's definitely a worthwhile series. Good start to the series. It's a unique personality. You don't often get 2 villains working together from 2 different lands, helping each other out to actually achieve like a goal, like help each other achieve 2 goals rather than 1 goal. So yeah, that's my review on My Little Pony's End of Flutter Valley episodes. Thanks